the thing that I need for you to go about holding on to is that the key to your success goes about residing within you. There's things that you are capable of doing because for this journey of life, what I'm trying to go about implying is different many lessons that if we allow ourselves to become students of life, then we will go about getting the information that we need in order to go about being successful. And in order for us to go about being successful, we must come to understand the basic elements in the governing body of anything. For one truly to go about learning, they must be humble. They must humble themselves in a way to become a student so that they could go about being something like a sponge. And being something like a sponge, it's absorbent. Because if we look at the mindset of a child, simplistic as it may be, they're constantly observing so that they could go about bringing in new information. Some good, some bad, some for no good reason. But just looking at the application of a child and how absorbent they have become and just in going about trying to absorb as much information as possible. So one must go about asking themselves, if the child could go about learning so much, at what stage in our life do we go about leaving that practice behind? Do we become so full of ourselves and thinking that we have come to know everything, or we see life in a certain viewpoint that learning is no longer necessary? Now, these are things that we must go about asking ourselves. And in asking ourselves these questions, it will force us to see that some of the implementation that we have established within ourselves, let it be the societal, let it be the cultural, let it be the religion, let it be the whatever you go about getting the most influence in your life, because something is influencing your life at this juncture. But unless you come to go about acknowledging or becoming aware of what your biggest influence is in life, you will continuously go down this road that you're going down. My brother Bernard, we go back and forth, and I love the back and forth because it goes about stimulating and giving me different viewpoints on how things are being viewed. And he put in a quote this morning that I love it. Um, we were placed in the middle of a perfect storm, but in the middle of this perfect storm, he iterates, we are not to drown, but to go about learning how to swim. Emphasizing that this is a school which is meant to go about teaching you, which is only meant to go about strengthening you if you allow yourself to be strengthened. Because if we look at a storm, you will see that on the outer realms of it, you will come to see the chaotic, destructive force within itself. But in the middle of a storm, there's a calmness that resides within. And the reason I went so far as to make this video is because I love that. And I want people to go about seeing Within you, there's a calmness, but you must reach out and become one with that calmness in order for you to go about being progressive and moving forth in life. And that is the thing that will help us propel us further and give us that strength that no matter what we are faced with, no matter what obstacles we come across, it's holding on to that peace. Because without the center of that storm, the storm is non-existent. It runs wild. It destroys itself. So it's just to go about showing you the cycle of nature. As destructive as a storm is, there's still a calmness in the middle. As chaotic as your life may be, you must find peace in what you are going through. And one of the things that I constantly go about emphasizing and having people try to come to realize is that we must rid ourselves of the things that go about holding us hostage. And that's why I'm a big advocate for forgiveness. Because when you go about forgiving yourself, then you won't take things so personally anymore. When you go about forgiving yourself, you will go about forgiving others around you. When you go about forgiving yourself, you will start to love yourself. But too many of us have been encapsulated with a grandiose viewpoint that we don't need to do certain steps. The basic foundations have to go about being met in order for evolution to go about taking peace in your journey and in your life. So the influences that are keeping you hostage, these are the things that are going about robbing you of your joy. Like I said before, everything you need, you have. You just have to go about utilizing. Stop looking outside. Start looking inside. Because the Spirit of the Most High resides within. Your answers do not wait for you outside. They're not in a book. They're not in some seminar. Still yourself. Is it better to be submissive, to make sacrifices, or is it better to surrender? They are all telling you the same exact thing. Humble yourself so that the answers may come forth and you may not go about fighting the truth. Now, you know what to do. Thank you for tuning in. Hit that like button, that subscribe, that share this comment with others who that you may see it being worthwhile and them going about finding peace within themselves. And have a blessed one. I love y'all. One.